What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over how I structure a full body workout to get everything that you need done in 60 minutes. Okay, I work in the private sector, so that means I generally only get to see my clients 2 to 3 times a week for about an hour a piece. So I find full body is going to be the most efficient and allow me to get everything accomplished within that time frame that I need to get done throughout a program. Quick overview of what a workout may look like. I always start with a warm-up, and then I like to move into more ballistic type movements, sprint, jump, throw. These are going to be our most intense movements using the entire body. After that, we'll move into our main and accessory movements and generally finish with some sort of energy systems training or cardio. I structure it this way so that we start with the most intense and then kind of work down the spectrum from there. At the beginning of the workout, when you're rested, your body's most in tune and ready to learn. So that's why I start with the hard stuff first. You can see there's 5 boxes that I generally like to check between each workout. 60 minutes total, so that leaves about 12 minutes apiece. Luckily, the warm-up and the energy systems training don't take that long usually, so we can add a couple minutes to the middle 3. I also utilize a lot of supersets here just to maximize efficiency. As one muscle group is resting, we can be working on something else. But that's generally the basic structure of the workout. So the main goal of the warm-up is just to prepare the tissue for the work that's coming. Self-myofascial release is good for some folks. I'm not a huge fan personally. Some like it, some need it, so I'll generally leave that up to the client. That's going to be your foam rolling, lacrosse ball, massage gun, stuff like that. After that, we'll move into a combination of static stretching and dynamic movement prep. Again, we're just trying to get the joints moving, get them prepared for the movement patterns that we have on the books that day. This is also where I'll put in any activation work. I'm not a huge fan of this phrase because your muscles are always active. However, I do think there's some value in finding or feeling some of the muscles that you struggle with before you integrate them into a larger movement pattern within the system. After the warm-up, I like to move into ballistics. These are generally going to be the most intense movements that we do throughout the day, and right after the warm-up when the body's fresh is going to be the best time to learn new movements. Big fan of sprinting. I think it's a great full body movement, though it is nervous system intensive. Okay, I like to use both top speed and acceleration work depending on the day. This isn't something that I would just start somebody off on. If you're not somebody who runs or sprints regularly, this is definitely something that you want to build up to. The research has shown within each stride you can get up to 5 times body weight in force production, as well as this being the fastest movement that we do. I think there's a lot of value in training both ends of the force velocity curve. These being obviously on the velocity side. Jumps and throws, I really like both for rate of force development. Jumps I use specifically to develop elasticity within the lower leg. I use a lot of pogo hops and various planes, stuff like that. And then throws I think are great for upper body power production. Usually don't have that eccentric stress, and I like to utilize them for rotational variations as well. The main movements of the day will make up the first cluster. These are generally multi-joint exercises geared towards whatever the goal is for that session. 90% of the exercises that I program fall into one of these categories, and even then I don't use the Olympic variations very often, only rarely with specific athletes who depend on the power production. I'll usually superset 2 to 3 variations from this list, and sometimes even add in a bit of core if we need the extra rest within this cluster. I then move on into accessory movements. They're usually less taxing, and the goal here can kind of vary person to person. If somebody with a low training age will still draw from those main variations just to get extra practice and proper movement. If somebody's a bit more proficient, we might use this time to shore up any weaknesses. I might choose a stability variation that will attenuate load and give the body a new problem to solve. This is also where I put in any bodybuilding work for a bit of extra hypertrophy. And then finally, we'll usually finish the workout with some sort of energy systems training or cardio. For me, it's almost always HIIT style training. Not to say that it's better than steady state, but I don't have time to put somebody on a treadmill for 30 minutes. Always focusing on the work to rest ratio here allows me to kind of manipulate the intensity without adding a ton of volume and again taking up time. Especially for athletes, I like to match this work to rest ratio around their sport so that we have carryover to performance. I also like to use upper body variations if possible, especially for athletes, so that I can work the cardiovascular system without putting extra mileage on their legs. If I've got time within the work to rest ratio, I'll superset it with core stability work because I think there's value in forcing people to utilize the dual function of the core with respiration and stability. So that's the overall structure of how I plan my workouts. It can be a big challenge to get everything you need done within 60 minutes. So I hope this helped. If you found this useful, please leave a like, share it to a friend, hit me with a subscribe. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments below, and I will see you back in the next video.